हेलो हाँ क्या कर रहा था वो ऑनलाइन वो हुआ था सेमिनार हुआ था आकाश भैया थे गूगल से आता सेमिनार में का नहीं है सेमिनार में का नहीं है ऑनलाइन
এগুলো হচ্ছে সৌরভ দে বলে একজন এখানে ঢুকেছে এই যে দেখুন তো ইনি তো
ফোন ধরছে না
এই যে ইনি তো দেখে নিন ইনি এনাকে পোস্ট করলাম
এই তো
স্পিকার
না না সৌরভ
দেখুন বসুন এখানে
কি ফটো ভিজা নাকি যেতে বলছি ওই একটা মেসেজ এলো ফটো নাকি
জানি না কিন্তু এখানে এফডিপি অর্গানাইজিং কমিটির ফটো সেশন
प्रेजेंटेशन सौरभ हम आ जाएंगे
अच्छा वो क्या करना है यहाँ पे चैट कैसे पोस्ट करते हैं
चैट में वहाँ लिंक जो भी होगा ना सर कॉपी किया हुआ है जस्ट यहाँ पे चैट में आके
लिंक लिंक कॉपी किया है
नहीं फीडबैक का ना सिर्फ फीडबैक का लिंक कॉपी नहीं किया हुआ है या कॉपी करके जस्ट यहाँ चैट में पेस्ट कर देंगे
तो फीडबैक के लिंक कॉपी कैसे करेंगे
आप मेल कर दीजिए सर अभी
हाँ प्रिंट करते হবে এই তো করলাম সই করতে
अच्छा वो तो यूट्यूब का लिंक है ठीक है समझ गया ठीक है
कोई और भी कर सकता है बाहर से भी
লাস্টে সই করে না বলুন স্যার এটা যখন দিয়া লাস্টে সই করে নাকি
लास्ट वीक
ফুল নেম না সব ফুল নেম
মানুষ স্যার কিছুক্ষণ পরে না আপনাকে ওই ইউটিউব লিঙ্কটা দিয়েছি ওটা ছেড়ে দেবেন
ঠিক আছে
ওরে এত বড় পেজ তুমি বলবে না বড় করে লিখেছে যে দেখতে না হয় চশমা না
হ্যালো
সাইজটা বাড়িয়ে দিয়েছি দেখা
হ্যাঁ ঠিক আছে
বলতে অসুবিধা হলে একটু নামিয়ে রাখবে স্পিকার
ঠিক আছে
অসুবিধা হয় আমার নিচে ছিল শোনা যাবে
শুরু করো
এটা তো কাজই করছে না
এই কোনো একটা অফিসে 5 মিনিটে 11:05 এ স্টার্ট করব 11:05 ওখানে 11
রাত্রির তো 11:05 স্টার্ট
মানে
এটা ইউকে
মানে এখানে কটা
এখানে 35
এখানে 35
এই বাবা আবার কেটে বেরিয়ে গেল
হ্যাঁ আপনি
কেউ ঢুকছে এখানে
নাও নেটটা দেখো
না নেট না কেউ লগ ইন করছে ওইটা দিয়ে
ওই সিএসসি রোডে যে
সিএসসি দেখে না আবার কেউ লাগবে আপনার কাছে নেই
আবার সুইচ করো
আমার সরি
নাহলে এখানে চলে এসো
রেডি হয়ে গেল
লিখে দিন তো
জয়েন করেন তো স্যার 30 জন পার্টিসিপেন্ট কম তো 30
আচ্ছা 30 জন কিন্তু
রিমাইন্ডার দিচ্ছে জয়েন করার
স্যার ওই বাসটা
স্টার্ট করব কি করে
এটাই তো
গ্রুপে দরকার না আর একটা মেসেজ দিন না স্যার
জয়েন করার
হ্যাঁ বলুন স্যার দিয়েছেন আপনি
স্টার্ট আওয়ার সেশন করে
হ্যাঁ আরেকবার স্যার এরপর লাগবে তো আপনার আগে দেবো
কুশলরা ডিনাই হয়ে গেল
স্পিকার জয়েন করেছে কি
স্পিকার জয়েন করে স্পিকার
জয়েন করেছে কবে থেকে?
স্পিকার জয়েন করলে স্টার্ট করবে ওনার ব্যাপারে বলা হবে নিজের নামটা লেখা রাখি না
আবার যদি হয় না এখানে চলে এসো।
না একটু লোকজন জয়েন করছে।
আপনার মিসেস এইমাত্র apologies joining in 5 minutes. সৌরভ দেব বলছে apologies joining in 5 minutes.
মেসেজটা কি সবাই দেখতে পাবে?
হুম।
অ্যাকাউন্টে গেলে এত ঝামেলা নেই অ্যাকাউন্টে করে দিল স্যার
একটা করতে হয় তো
না না সেটা একটা উত্তর
কোথায়
একটা উত্তর না আমি সারাদিন একটাই করে এসেছি
এখন চেঞ্জ হয়ে গেছে
বছর থেকে হচ্ছে তখন তো আমি আবার
ম্যাকাও এখন যা করেছে এখন অটোনমাস অনেক শান্তি
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা না আমাদের টেকনোমেন্টটা ম্যাকাউট ছিল অবশ্য 2 বছর 2.5 বছর আমি তো একটু উঁচুতেও উঠে গেছিলাম সেই জন্য আর কি সবার করতে হয় আগে তো সেই প্রেজেন্টেশন ছবি তুলে তুলে গিয়ে করতে হচ্ছে সেটা করে এসেছি সেটা বছর থেকে আগে কোভিডের পর আরও চাপ ফোনকে দিয়ে দিতে বললি ভালো
জানি না কেউ ইউজ করছে আর তারপরেও কেউ করছে না মনে হচ্ছে কেন ওখানে বারে বারে কেটে যাচ্ছে বেরিয়ে যাচ্ছে আর তো কেউ জানেও না তা কেউ করছে বোধ হয় জিলাম জানি না জিলাম বা
ছিলাম মানে ওটা জিজ্ঞেস করতে হবে ভুলে গেলাম মেবি
অমৃতা যদি প্রবলেম হয় এখানে চলে আসবে কারণ এটা এটা জানে না এই এই যে হোস্টে বসবে এখানে এরপরে যদি ডিসরাপ্ট হয়ে যায় না কেটে যায়
চলো
বসুন 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 বসুন
আসবে না না করিনি এখন হাতে পেয়ে নকশা মিলিয়ে দিচ্ছি
মুখ থোবড়া দেখাচ্ছে এখানে একদম কালকে বার করে দিয়েছিলাম জানেন তো একজনকে পুরো ধরে ক্যামেরা অন করছিল সে আবার আমাকে ডাইরেক্ট এখানে গিয়ে হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ কল করেছে আমাকে বার করে দিলেন কেন সিস্টার নিবেদিতা আমি বুঝতে পারিনি তারপরে ওর অ্যাফিলিয়েটিভ এখানে এই মেশিনে বসলাম বসে অ্যাফিলিয়েশন দেখলাম ম্যাডাম হচ্ছে সিস্টার নিবেদিতা হ্যাঁ
বেরিয়ে গেল
তুমি এখানে বসো,
হ্যাঁ
তুমি এখানে বসো, বলছি তো
হ্যাঁ বলতে বলতে অফলাইন
কেউ বদমাইশি করছে ইচ্ছে করে,
কি অবস্থা সত্যি
এ জানে বা না জানে।
আজ যে তিনজন আছে ডেকে নিয়ে গেছে
সবাইকে ডেকে নিন এখানে যেই ব্যাপার
সেটাই
কি বলছে ফরমাস কেন ডিপার্টমেন্টের মধ্যে
না ওটা তো আমরাই কি বলি
বলে দিয়েছিলাম যে
হ্যাঁ, হ্যাঁ।
বলবে সেদিন
সেই দিন সেই দিন
চলাকালীন আমাকে হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ করেছেন যে মাল্টিপ্লাই করলে আমরা পরে পেমেন্টটা হয়েছে তো তারা নিজের সাথে পাঠাতে হবে
সৌভিক স্যার বলছি আপনি বোর্ড অফ থ্যাঙ্কসটা দিন,
না 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 আবার
এরকম দড়ি টানাটানি করে লাভ নেই
প্রথম
স্যার।
তো বলে দিই
আর কি হয়েছে
না চললাম
আমার পেনটা স্যার
ম্যাডাম কি করবেন এখানে বসবেন বাকিদেরকে ডাকবেন না ম্যাম ওখানে যাবেন
এখন চলছে তো,
না ওই তো এখানে বন্ধ হয়ে গেল না
তাহলে এখানে এখানে
সার্টিফিকেটটা স্যার
সার্টিফিকেট কি ওখানে ডাউনলোড করা আছে
কোথা থেকে ডাউনলোড করতে হবে?
তাহলে স্যার ওদেরকে ডেকে নিয়ে একটু মানা করবেন
বারে বারে বলা সত্ত্বেও ও বদমাইশি করছে। স্পিকারকে ফোন করে দেখুন না, স্পিকার আছে, স্পিকার কি করছে জয়েন করবে না?
আবার বের করে
এখানে এখানে বসুন, কে বদমাইশি করছে, কেউ বারে বারে ঢোকার চেষ্টা করছে,
হ্যাঁ
এখানে এখানে
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ
সব আছে।
সার্টিফিকেটটা হোয়াটসঅ্যাপে মেলে নিয়ে নাও
স্যার ক্যামেরাটা তো দেখলাম না। হ্যাঁ
মেলে নিয়ে এখানে ডাউনলোড করে রেখে দাও সার্টিফিকেট
আচ্ছা আমি পরে উঠবো নাকি? একবার উঠে যাবো, বলবে তখন তো উঠে যেতে পারবো, তখন পেন ড্রাইভে করে নিয়ে নিতে হবে, বা মেলে আমাকে পাঠিয়ে দিন কেউ ওইটা থেকে। এটা
এই পেনড্রাইভটা করে দিয়ে দিই
স্যার এখানে তো ক্যামেরা মাইট বি ব্লকড দেখাচ্ছে, আমার নিজের ফেস তো দেখতে পাচ্ছি না। অন করছি, এই যে এটা অন করলাম, এই যে
ক্যামেরা কাজ হচ্ছে না,
এখানে ক্লিক করুন তো, কোনটা সিলেক্ট আছে এখানে ক্লিক করুন, এই তো লজিক এটা হবে, এটা সিলেক্ট করুন, এবার অন করুন ক্যামেরা,
বারে বারে
সাউন্ডটা দেখে নিন।
তারপরে বদমাইশি করছে। ওটা পরে হবে, এখন সার্টিফিকেট বের করে দিন।
ওটা ওই ইয়ে থেকে পাঠিয়ে দিন, ওইখানে তো বের করেই রেখেছি আমি, মেল
ডেস্কটপে আছে ওখানে?
মেল করে দিন, এইটা দিন।
মেল করা দরকার নেই, হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ দিয়ে থাকলেই হবে, পেন ড্রাইভ থেকে ওপেন করলেই হবে। বন্ধ করে দিন।
ক্যামেরা অন
ক্যামেরা ক্যামেরা হ্যালো, অ্যাডমিট অন করো, অ্যাডমিট অন, এই যে এইখানে।
কোনটা?
শো করছে না,
হুম।
কেউ বারবার ওটাতে লগ ইন করার চেষ্টা করছে।
ওই 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 যে মেলটা আছে না, ওইটা দিয়ে কেউ লগ ইন করে ঢুকছে।
হ্যাঁ জিজ্ঞাসা
আমি পাগল হয়ে গেছে।
না ঠিক আছে, তারা করছে না বলে হচ্ছে।
ফোল্ডারটাকে ডেস্কটপে রাখবেন।
ওপেন করে
করাই
দেবো
থাক, হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ।
বাস, আমি এটা খুলে নিলাম পেন ড্রাইভটা।
এই একটু দেখে বলবে হ্যাঁ, যে সার্টিফিকেট দেখাচ্ছে নাকি এসব।
Hi all, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Sir, can you hear me?
Okay.
Introduce
Can you?
করবো?
I have switched on my camera. Not sure why it's not switching on. Can you see me? Okay.
Sir, বলছি
Yeah,
কেন,
perfect.
switch on করছে দেখতে পাই তো?
Sorry for the delay. Apologies. I do sincerely apologize for my 12 minutes delay.
ক্যামেরা করো,
No, sir, it's okay.
ক্যামেরা
So if you want to start off, sir, ma'am,
Yes, sir.
please.
A very good afternoon to all of you. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to the 5th day of the one-week faculty development program on innovation, entrepreneurship and IPR being conducted from 11th May to 15th May 2026, organized by the Department of Computer Science and Engineering in association with IQ, Haldia Institute of Technology in West Bengal. On behalf of the organizing committee members, I, Ms. Amrita Sarkar, Assistant Professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at Haldia Institute of Technology, extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to our respected resource person, distinguished participants, faculty members, and all attendees. Now, I would like to warmly welcome our honorable resource person for today, Mr. Saurabh De. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Saurabh De is an Associate Director in Technology and Transformation at Deloitte UK, specializing in delivering innovative and scalable solutions for the financial service sector. With a strong background in data and extensive experience in leading complex cloud-enabled transformation, he has helped clients drive efficiency, resilience, and long-term value. He has keen understanding of emerging technologies, and his area of focus include AI strategy, automation, and application of data analytics to solve complex business challenges. He is passionate about bridging the gap between technology and business to shape the future of financial services. Today, Saurabh De sir will be delivering his talk on the topic driving innovation ecosystems through strategic research, technology, entrepreneurship, and IPR. We are honored to have you as the resource person for this session. I kindly request you to initiate the session and share your valuable insights with the participants. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Good afternoon, everybody. It's a good morning for me, but afternoon for you. First of all, thank you for joining today's session. And I am really privileged and honored to be present here today across so many distinguished faculty members and associated staff of Haldia Institute of Technology. And it is really overwhelming for me that I am getting a chance to present before all of your distinguished people in this particular call. So first of all, thank you from my side. Now, a bit of introduction about myself. I am Saurabh De. I am an Associate Director in Deloitte UK in the Cloud AI and Data practice. As ma'am was telling, I help my clients in their cloud modernization journey, data modernization journey, and their agentic journey. I mainly work in the financial services sector. That means I work with banking and capital market sector. And I have been doing this since I started off my career back in, well, a long time back, 17 years now. Yes, approximately 17 years now. And I have worked across the globe, helping clients across the globe, as I mentioned, in the financial services sector, so that they can utilize the value of data. They can get their workloads to cloud so that they can reduce their costs and increase efficiency, scalability, reliability of the systems. And other than working related to technology, I've also published few papers in international journals pertaining to robotics, supply chain management, and different areas that I did research with a faculty who is currently a professor in SPJ in Mumbai. He's an MBA professor. I passed out my engineering from Techno India Newtown, and then post passing out, I did work for Infosys for 4.5 years. I did quit my job to pursue my MBA in Great Lakes Institute of Management, Chennai, post which I joined Cognizant. And finally, after Cognizant, I moved over to my consulting career in Deloitte. So that has been my journey, which is, but I always look up to the faculty members of engineering colleges and other institutes such as MBA Institute, because you are the base, right? You are creating the leaders for tomorrow, and I think without you it wouldn't have been possible to build the leaders for tomorrow, and hence each and every leader are indebted to their alma mater. So thank you for what you're doing and you have been doing. Now, I wanted today's session to be an interactive session rather than a monologue from my side. So if somebody can raise their hand and tell me, what are you expecting out of today's session? Or based on the 4 sessions that you had previously, on the last day of the session, what are you expecting? Anybody can raise their hand and just switch on their mic and just let me know. I see Shantini Mukherjee has raised her hands up. Shantini, over to you. Anybody willing to speak? I'm sure somebody is willing to speak. Ma'am, would you like to nominate anybody who is willing to speak and who can express what they are expecting out of the session today? Because it is very important for me to understand before I start off with the session.
Dr. Momita Dash, ma'am, please.
As I mentioned, I want the session to be interactive rather than me speaking to a screen. So it will be helpful for me to have participation in this session and active participation in this session along with you all, so that it's more of a collaborative session rather than a single one-off person having a monologue, which people either are listening or choose to ignore.
Very good afternoon, sir. Actually, from the last 4 days, we have learned from some academic-oriented knowledges. So today we are expecting some industry-oriented, some live project like that. If you explain that one, it will be very helpful for us. Or we can guide our students also like that.
Perfect. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. That is helpful. It gives me an understanding of what we are expecting out of the session today. So I have prepared few slides. So let me share my screen and let's take from there. Can you see my screen? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just a word of caution. If anybody wants to speak, just feel free to speak because I am sharing my screen. So if you're putting your hands up, I will not be able to understand or I will not be able to see who is speaking or and if anybody has put their hands up or not. Right. So as Madam mentioned, today we are speaking about strategic research, innovation, and tech entrepreneurship. Now, a quick question to start with. When we say startups, do we know that a lot of startups started from universities itself, right? Like, so as I was mentioning, universities are engineering colleges are the building blocks which can help the next generation coming forward tomorrow, and hence the research mindset that the university inculcates in the students is very much important so that we innovate something new and we take our next leap forward towards building new products, building new companies, and helping the economy of the countries grow. Now, I will move over to my next slide, which is, so if you can see my screen today we are speaking about 4 modules. Number 1 is strategic research and innovation. Second one is cloud, AI, and data in industry. Number 3 is process automation at scale. And number 4 is technology entrepreneurship. So as we go ahead with each of these topics or modules for today, we will spend each half an hour having a collaborative discussion, as I mentioned. And I will also share the insights from my side of what are the things that we are seeing in the industry and how it might be beneficial for you as faculty so that you can take it to the students. Any questions about this particular agenda before we start off? Okay, I'll take that as a no. So from consulting to classroom, right? What is the industry experience that I am going to share today? I'm going to speak about cloud and infrastructure. I'm going to speak about process automation, which is agentic automation nowadays. I'm going to speak about AI and data strategy. And I'm going to speak about consulting practice. Now, cloud and infrastructure. My first question to you is, I am sure Holdi Institute of Technology does provide cloud as a subject in their curriculum for the students. Am I right in assuming that? Just a yes or no will suffice.
Yes, sir.
Yes, awesome. So you're already looking at the next generation, when I say next gen, or the technologies which are shaping the tech landscape of banks, retail, and then other particular industries, right? Now, why are we building in cloud? And as we all know, we are building in cloud because it is helping us to save on infrastructure costs. Right? And I'm not going to give you a cloud 101 lesson today. Don't be like, I don't want to bore you with a cloud 101 lesson. But few things from industry perspective that I want to share about cloud and infrastructure. Number 1 is, whenever I'm speaking with the C-level executives throughout the last couple of years, there are 2 things which they are currently focusing on. The 2 things are, number 1, security, and number 2 is resiliency. It's very easy to build a cloud platform. You initiate a cloud landing zone. You create S3 buckets for if you're using AWS. You create your organization account, and within that account, you create your VPCs. You connect your VPCs using VPC peering. You do all of that stuff, right? But what if your infrastructure is not as secure as you want to be? That is the first question that CIOs are asking, that I'm building on cloud, that's very good, but is my cloud infrastructure secure? And then second part is resiliency. Can somebody put up their hand and tell me what you think about the current resiliency patterns, or what do you think about the resiliency patterns when you're teaching students about cloud? Can somebody from the cloud faculty members just give me a one-liner? What do you think about resiliency? That is the question. Anybody? Okay, I will answer it. So when we are thinking about resiliency, we are thinking about, suppose there is a, in AWS, we have regions, we have availability zones, etc. What if an availability zone fails? How we recuperate with that? What if a region fails? How we recuperate with that? I think last year, there was certain issues when an AWS site failed in, I don't remember the location, but there was a huge issue at that time. Similarly, there was an attack on, like, because of the recent geopolitical scenario, some of the data centers are at risk, right? You keep hearing in the news. How you make your application secure? So if some data center is somehow affected, you cannot stop processing hundreds and thousands of transactions that goes through your infrastructure every day, right? Because otherwise it will be a loss of billions of dollars to your company. So resiliency is something which you'll have to obviously every time think of when you're building a cloud solution. So my 2 cents from industry perspective, whenever you're speaking to the students, focus on these 2 topics. Everybody can build out a bucket, everybody can connect to a bucket, everybody can store to a bucket, everything can be done. The key principles of security and resiliency is something which you'll have to definitely speak to the students about. And when the campus interviewers arrive, if they hear from the students that they're already thinking about security and resiliency and how can we make us end-to-end application more secure and more resilient, they will understand that the students have done the required homework, and the chances of getting answering the questions and the interviewer getting pleased with the questions answers is much more, right? Now, coming over to security, how many of you have heard of Claude Mythos? Can I get a raise of hand? Let me see my screen, how many people are raising that. Just say yes on the chat if you have heard about Claude Mythos. I think has anybody heard about Claude Mythos? Yes, I think Arpita is mentioning. Yes, yeah. Arpita, can you don't want to put it on spot, but can you say what is your feeling about Claude Mythos? First of all, it's very good to hear that you have already studied about Claude Mythos or have got an idea about Claude Mythos. So, can you share what are your thoughts about Claude Mythos?
Please unmute yourself.
Question to Arpita. Okay, anybody else, like, who wants to speak about Claude Mythos? I'm sure you're not that shy coming off the camera and speaking, because while we speak to the students, you're standing in front of 60 students and speaking in front of the students. So coming off camera and speaking shouldn't be that difficult.
এটা না মানে খুলে যাচ্ছে আমার মাথা থেকে।
Okay, I am going ahead since I am not getting much participation. So Claude Mythos is about, we have heard about Claude, which is the Anthropic offering, right? From it is an offering from Anthropic, the LLM model that we have. Within Claude, we have within Claude, we have multiple LLM models, which is Claude Opus 4.7, etc., etc. Now, Claude Mythos is something which has been more of a research project, and I'm bringing this up because it was started as a research project with Claude, Google, JP Morgan Chase, and few other companies together working on a research project, which ultimately ended up being so powerful that if you run the Claude Mythos on your infrastructure, you can find that what are the security vulnerabilities in your infrastructure within a span of only few minutes. It can provide you have built multiple systems, right? The banks, the insurance companies have been building multiple strong systems in the last 10-15 years. And if you use Claude Mythos, it can expose your vulnerabilities in the system within 10 minutes of time. So that's really frightening to see that even if you have built very strong secure system, the Claude Mythos can find out your vulnerabilities within a short span of time. So what if these vulnerabilities are found out by hackers, right? That can be very, very much dangerous, right? And hence what is happening is, if you go to Google and type Project Glasswing, go to Google right now and type Project Glasswing. So Project Glasswing is wherein Claude is telling that we are not rolling out this particular Mythos as a general availability to all participants, because if somebody else gets hands on it and quickly finds out the security vulnerabilities, they might hack your system before you are able to secure your system or remediate the vulnerabilities. Hence, they're rolling out this to few of the, not customers, but few of the collaborators, so that the collaborators can run Claude Mythos, find out the vulnerabilities, remediate those vulnerabilities before it is passed on to multiple other people. So you're securing your infrastructure at a higher pace, because we have now AI LLMs which can find out your security vulnerabilities quite easily, and you don't want harmful people to get a hang of the security vulnerabilities. So I hope each one of you have gone through the Claude Mythos Glasswing project. Type Glasswing on Google, Project Glasswing, and it will tell you more about Claude Mythos and what they are trying to do. Any questions on this? I will take that as a no. Quickly moving over to process automation. Now, process automation has been there since I started off my career. It has been there more than I would say 20 years now. Why did process automation started? Now, it started because each and every process goes through its own life cycle. Example would be, very simple example would be, you go to a bank, you try to open an account. What do? You fill out certain forms, you submit the form to the people in the bank. Now, after that, it goes through a multiple process. What are those processes? Number one is, first the bank checks that, or the front office officer in the bank checks whether you have filled in all the details correctly or not. Then the form goes to the next person who does your KYC evaluation. That means he or she checks whether the KYC details that you're provided is right or not. Next, what happens is, there is a due diligence that happens on your profile. That means they check that whether this customer is a good customer or not, it's an original customer or not. They check your credit scores, they check your fraud previous, if there has been any fraud reference, etc., etc. Now, this is done by a separate team called the KYC team. The KYC team has multiple inbuilt teams within them, which is called normal KYC due diligence team. Few of the applications requires enhanced due diligence. So there's an enhanced due diligence team which does the enhanced due diligence on the top of your form. Once those forms are evaluated and they're deemed that, okay, this particular customer, be it a corporate customer or a retail customer, can be onboarded, it goes to the account onboarding team. Account onboarding team opens up your account, creates your account in the system with all the details, and then finally it goes to, you get a welcome letter that welcome XYZ, you have been onboarded to our bank. This is a whole process, just a simple process, but see the number of steps in the process, right? Earlier, when this process started, it was all manual. Today, we are seeing virtual banks, right? Perhaps you might have heard banks such as Revolut. Revolut is it's very much prevalent in UK, but these are called challenger banks, right? These are not typical old-fashioned banks wherein they have branches. These are branchless banks. If you go to Google, you can study about Revolut, which is a very famous case study. You can study about Monzo Bank. Those are the banks which are called challenger banks. That means they are challenging the existing banking landscape by telling that earlier you used to do banking in a different way. Right now, it's a different way of banking. Let me play you through a simple example over here. When you try to open an account in Revolut, Monzo, or any of the systems, you do not need to visit a branch nowadays. Just utilize your phone, put in the details, and then record your video and put your photo also from your phone, and it all gets routed to the bank. And within a matter of few minutes, your account is getting created. So remember the days when we used to wait for 10-15 days for an account to open? But now, with the challenger banks coming in, account is being opened within a matter of 2 minutes rather than having to wait for 15 days. And this is what automation has done. And this is what AI baked into automation has done. What it does is, whenever you upload a document, the AI document reader automatically reads through your documents, gets your data, right? It automatically connects to the databases, fraud databases, etc., to check against your data that has this person got any variable which needs to be checked. If that is flagged, then your account is not opened immediately. They tell you that, hey, we are checking something at our end. Please be sure your account, please wait for a while before your account is opened. But if all the checks comes out right, then immediately once they validate against the databases, fraud databases, etc., they check your video against the national databases. They take a scan of your face so that if anybody else is trying to open an account using your face, they are not able to do it. And then automatically the workflow is linked to the account opening boxes and account is opened. So see, the human in the loop is not there. The human in the loop only comes in when there are certain circumstances wherein we are saying that, hey, this particular person might be a person whom we perhaps need to validate. That is when this human in the loop comes in. But having said that, this process automation has made the journey of simple use case such as account opening so simple, and the efficiency that we have achieved starting from 15 days to open an account to 2 minutes is unparalleled. So whenever you're speaking to the students, highlight the fact about the challenger bank. You can read more about challenger banks such as Revolut, Monzo, etc., which are called challenger banks, and play through them the case studies of these particular banks. Any questions related to process automation? I will take that as a no. Going forward to the next point, which is AI and data strategy. We are all speaking about AI. Every day we are hearing, learn AI, do this, do that. everything is being joined with AI, right? Now, my question to you, and I would like some answers. What do you think about data and how it is associated with AI? If you can raise your hand, somebody can speak up. Why is data so important when we speak about AI? I need some of you to come off mute, come on video also if possible, and tell me that why do you think data is required and what is the importance of data as you build out the AI landscape? Anybody? Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Actually, whatever AI or ML or whatever the model we are using, our main objective is to process the data. So data is the backbone of everything. Without going through data and data model, no one can stand by any abstract layer. So data is the most important thing, and then after syntax will come over the road.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate you coming off mute and on camera and saying this. And then
Thank
I
you.
would like to have you in my team because you are right on the point. And you have hit right on the point, telling that data is the main thing, right? We are speaking about models. We are speaking about so many things. But if your data is a garbage, you cannot build good models. So garbage data in is equivalent to garbage data out. So even if you're building fascinating models, your model will not work until you have good data. And as Sir mentioned about data modeling, first of all, as you go through the AI journey, you need to have your data sorted at your end. Right now, what we are seeing is across all the clients, we are seeing this, right? Data is very much segregated. That means you have multiple copies of the same data everywhere. That creates a ruckus in your or havoc in your data journey. You have multiple copies of the data. If there's no authoritative data source, that creates a problem. If you don't know where the data has originated from, how it has transformed, and how it is being ultimately reflected at the end, that creates a problem. If your data is not sorted, you will get different reports providing different values. That creates a problem. So overall, if your data is not sorted, you will have a problem in your AI world. First of all, first thing to do is sort your data. Good data in is equals to good data out. Bad data in is equals to bad data out. So sort your data before you move on to your AI journey. So I'll say more about data because I deal with data day in and day out as we go through the session today. And again, this is one of the aspects which you can help students with is how, as Sir mentioned already, the different data modeling, right? Data modeling is something which is very much required as a part of the industry. Now, if a student is able to tell good things about data, that means how data modeling is done, the star schema, etc., etc., federated data modeling, those are the things that will be useful going forward in their career. And it will relate to the practical world rather than being too much theoretical. So we have all seen, like, there are certain times we feel that the knowledge that we gain is too much theoretical knowledge. But when we speak about data, this 1NF, 2NF, 3NF that I studied when I was in my engineering, doing my engineering degree is still, I can still relate to that. So that is the main success. When you can relate theory to what you're doing in practical is something which is desired, and hence uplifting the students on the thoughts related to data will be very helpful going forward. And lastly, consulting. So I am a consultant. So students who are passing out of engineering can think of consulting as their career. What do consultants do? Now, very simple example. Take an example of a bank who is just opening up a shop in India, in West Bengal, a new bank XYZ. The new bank would need help on how to structure the team, right? The multiple banking teams, as I mentioned, how to structure the team. That is where we come in as consultants and tell that we have done it in XYZ bank. Since you're opening a new bank, this is how you structure a team. We tell them about the tech roadmap. That means this is what you should do as a from technology side, so that you save up on your cost and increase efficiency and go forward from there. Those are all the things that we tell the banks so that it helps in their journey. Similarly, we help them on their operating model, change, technology adoption at scale, etc. So we advise our clients, telling that this is the best possible way that you can go forward with this, and we provide solutions to our clients' problems. So what does consultants do? In a single word, if I have to say, consultants provide solutions to their clients. So this is also a thing which, or also a career path which, other than typical coding, which the engineering students can do, can also think of going forward. So I have spoken a lot around last 35 minutes on cloud infrastructure, process automation, AI and data, and consulting. Any questions anybody has till now? I will take that as a no, which takes me to the next part, which is related to innovation and invention. Right now, if you look at the top of the line, the starting line or strap line mentioned over in the slide, most breakthroughs in the industry aren't new ideas. They're new applications of existing knowledge. Right? So it's a very important sentence that it's always not new ideas, right? It's new application of existing knowledge, and hence we can think of this as how RPA, which is robotics process automation, has evolved into agentic process automation. Right? You can think of this as not a new idea, but the change as to how an idea is implemented from RPA to agentic. Right? So that's how breakthroughs are achieved in the industry. Now, I work with a lot of big banks, and many of the people I work with have the same background as me, that they have passed out from an engineering college in Kolkata or West Bengal, and they are writing patents for the banks which are being published or which are being accepted patents across the world. So even in the industry, while you're working, it's not that you're not doing a research, you're not working far away from what is going on in the world. So as we are working in the industry, there are multiple chances that people get to uplift their profile and publish papers or patents which are accepted across the world. And this comes through, as I was mentioning, not new ideas, but application of existing knowledge. So you have the data with you. With the data, you utilize or think of something which is very innovative and applicable to your industry, and you build on top of that. That's how patents, or that's how research can be aligned to the industry that we are working in. Now, the first part of this particular slide that you can see is mentioning about research innovation, creating new knowledge, the domain of academia, labs, and R&D centers. High risk, long horizon, high reward. Now, each and every technology schools or colleges that are there, you must be having a research center associated with your college, right? And these research center, as I was telling, instills within the students and inculcates within the mind of the students the research thinking that is required. And this going forward nobody can say, right? Even companies such as Stripes was started from MIT. So if MIT can do it, why not Holdia Institute of Technology or others, right? We are not lesser than them, right? The infrastructure that we are slowly getting, it is being at par with other colleges in the world, right? So first of all is the intent. So suppose you start off with the intent that today you will start off a research on something innovative. Example would be something you can think of is an example which comes to my mind is in Australia there were a lot of shark attacks, right? Now, what did they do to prevent the shark attacks is something which is very innovative, and they had satellite images, and they could figure out when the shark is nearing, and they could stop a lot of shark attacks. So if you Google shark attacks and how did they innovatively reduce the shark attacks in Australia, that is also an innovative story. So similarly, find out a problem which is there and start working on that. You never know that if you are able to complete that research within your R&D center in your institute, that might be leading to a big company going forward, right? Next is applied innovation. What does applied innovation tells us? It tells us about taking existing research and building products or processes around it. As I was telling, it's not always that we have to find out new things. It's not always we have to find out electricity or invent fire or invent electricity or invent aeroplane. You can utilize existing research and build products on top of that. To say an example, there are multiple startups in US, Silicon Valley, right? And there are multiple startups that are growing across the world who are taking an exact clone of what is happening in Silicon Valley and building a startup of their own. So taking existing research and building products on top of that is something which we can do. I know a company in India which has started. The head of the company was previously working for one of the biggest banks in UK. He went back to India, started a company, particularly on financial crime. And what did they do? They did not research anything new, right? They had already a deep knowledge about the fin crime processes, and they built products around those processes. So that is what applied innovation is. So find out a process which is causing a great deal of pain to the users, and try to improve the process and build a product around it. And if you sell the products, you are going to become the next millionaire or billionaire. Sorry, millionaire, everybody can say so right now, but billionaire is something you can be the next billionaire if you build a product around a problem and try to sell it to the market. Now, lastly, it's about process innovation, reimagining how work gets done using technology, automation, AI, and cloud. Now, this is very closely related to applied innovation, wherein we are thinking about a process and redesigning a process. That means, let me take you a simple example. Today, a process, if you think of a process such as applying for a ration card, maybe that's a very tedious process now. How can you make this more user-friendly? By introduction of technology. Similarly, renewal of your driving license. It might be I'm not sure how it is currently, but it might be a tedious process. I'm not sure. But if it's a tedious process, is there a way we can easily solutionize it and make it more user-friendly through innovation? Those are something which we can think of. So the industry in this insight that I'm providing as a part of this particular slide is the most successful technology company don't always invent. They recognize research potential early, apply it fast, and scale it relentlessly. Google PageRank started as a PhD thesis, right? So PhD thesis is being utilized across Google for the page ranking that Google does. So think of the big picture, start off immediately. So that is what we need to do going forward. Right? Uh, any questions on this particular slide before I go over to the next? I will take that as a no. Now, we all know about McKinsey. McKinsey's have 3 horizons of innovation. A framework, like this is a framework which every research-led organization should understand and should take into consideration. Optimize H1 is the first horizon, H2 is the second, and H3 is the third. Now, optimize the score. That is what I was mentioning. Improving what you already have. Incremental efficiency gains using automation and data, where most IT spend goes. Now find out a process which is very much cumbersome, which is a painful process, and invest on your core processes to make those more efficient. Wherein it should 70% of your investment, 70% of the investments of most of the companies goes over there. Next is 20% on building new things. Now, suppose you're a bank. You need to think of new products that you should be launching in the market. So those are where the new thinking comes in, and you will have to invest in people who can help you build out those products, right? So that is another aspect of it. And lastly, H3 is investment, which is related to create future options. Now, what is investment? 10%. How many of you have heard about the recent changes in cybersecurity and how quantum is playing into that? So how many of you have heard about quantum? Raise a hand, yes, no. Have you heard about quantum? I'm sure you've heard about quantum because quantum is the next big thing everybody is telling, right? It's not yet, it is being proven, but there are a lot of associated things that needs to fall in place before it is available, like LLMs. LLMs were not there previously, right? So quantum is also going through that particular phase right now. So if you can think of something innovative, if you can think of quantum, that might be something you can research on, create a paper with your students, and try to build out on that particular research. That is something I would strongly suggest. If you're thinking of research paper, try to think of a research paper on quantum and project your point of view when it comes to quantum, right? So that is what I can suggest on the part related to H3. Right? Now, question to you is, as a college, you might be doing multiple researches, right? Can you tell me which are the most of your research, which are the fields that your research is focused on in majority of the use cases or in majority of the time? Can anybody share your experience in your college about what are you doing in the research field nowadays? And I'm sure you must have published a lot of papers with your students. What were the topics, so that it's a collaborative journey, and I know there are 129 people on the call, so that other people also gets to know.
রিসার্চ প্রজেক্ট স্টুডেন্টদের সাথে কোন কোন টপিকের উপর আমরা করেছি 135টা লোক আছে
Anybody? I'm sure you're not saying that you're not doing any research at all. I'm sure you are doing a lot of research in the field. in multiple fields. So can you tell me what are the fields that you are doing the research on? What are the next gen research topics that you have chosen as a part of your when I say as a part of your end-to-end journey, training your students as well as training yourselves? What are the research topics that you have chosen? Anybody? Like when I say a part of your end-to-end.
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Actually,
Hello.
maximum students are working at present machine learning. Some of the students are working on the network security also.
Okay, that's very good. So when we say about machine learning and network security, what are the typical use cases that they're working around? When we say machine learning, what are the typical use cases? Machine learning can be a very broad thing, right?
Yes, they are actually collecting some online data. If they are working on some set of data, they are working on the only UG students are working in case of email. They are collecting the simple data sets. They are only
See, I can provide you an exhaustive list of projects actually, but I don't think time will permit. When rainfall prediction using machine learning.
Awesome. Yeah, that is very good. Yeah, that is what I was looking.
Multimodal mental health monitoring using facial expressions and textual sentiment. AI-powered virtual therapist for real-time mental health risk prediction and fake news detection, and an application to emergency medical delivery system using heuristic algorithms like PSO, particle swarm optimization, genetic algorithm. Blockchain-enabled DB scan based water mapping.
Okay, these are really very interesting topics, and believe me, if you showcase these topics, if you achieve a good output from these topics, most of the industry people or industry organizations will be trying to get associated with the colleges or institutes, whoever is doing such research, interesting research. Once you come out with the products that you're performing as a part of the research, that will create a lot of market. So really interesting to hear what you have done related to rainfall prediction, facial analysis, related to mental health. So really appreciate what you have done. Really shows a very lot of depth that you have put in the thoughts and what your organization has achieved. So thank you for sharing. Appreciate it. And this is triggering my thought also that, okay, these are the particular things which are already being researched as a part of the Indian curriculum. So we are a good way ahead. So we are on the right track. I saw one question. Let's go back to the EF fraud detection, risk management. Yes. Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Venkat sir. Prem Kumar has asked a question: how election-based analysis will work? Any idea, sir? You've asked me a tough question, like how election-based analysis work. I think there are a lot of data in the system that the analysts are collecting, and once you collect those data, again, this will come off to the whole data modeling, as I was mentioning. Data will be scraped through multiple sources. It will be real-time data. It can be batch sources that is pulled into the data ecosystem. We have to cleanse the data, right? Once the data is cleansed, we have to model the data. And when I say modeling, there can be multiple aspects of modeling, which is star schema, then federated data modeling, multiple data models that we can apply on top of that. And then once the data is cleansed, if there is any transformation required on the data is transformed. So when we think about data architecture, there are 3 layers to it. One is bronze, silver, and gold layer. So bronze layer is the raw data. Silver layer is wherein the data is being processed and transformed, and gold layer is wherein you're getting the final set of data through which you can do the reporting. Now, once that gold layer is achieved, the data can be fed in through multiple algorithms, which does the prediction. You can use multiple tools which does the prediction nowadays, and then we can do the prediction based on the data that we have. Now, I personally lead the Snowflake capability in Deloitte UK, and Snowflake platform, if you might have heard, it's a modern day data platform, right? And Snowflake nowadays have come up with a particular solution called Cortex Code, which we funnily called Coco, Snowflake Coco, which is Snowflake Cortex Code. Now, Snowflake Cortex Code is nothing but a LLM layer on top of the Snowflake ecosystem. Now, what it does is you can talk to the data in simple natural language, which we call talk to your data. Now, you can tell that these are the data that we have collected. Based on the data that you have collected, devise me a predictive analysis, provide me a predictive modeling wherein it predicts the elections based on the data that you have collected. So it will provide you a predictive modeling, and it will also give you the predictive modeling results that you can utilize based on the election, so that you can get the election-based analysis. So that's how people are. Any reliable source that may be considered. I cannot comment on the source system. Source system is something which you have to think of and you have to decide, because source system might differ from country to country, and I really cannot comment on what will be the reliable source system from which we can get the data. I can comment on how you can process the data and how you can do the prediction, but source system is something which we have to think of, and then it might be a joint exercise which we perform with subject matter experts and then go from there. I am not a subject matter expert related to election-based analysis on that. So, okay. Now, coming over to the difference between academic research versus industry R&D. Now, perhaps you already know this. Something which I thought will be useful for us to cover is the primary goal of academic research is to generate new knowledge, publish, contribute to the field, as you're already doing, right? These are the things that you're doing are new. But the industry research is to solve an industry problem, right? Now, we are always thinking commercially, because we are an organization. To run an organization, you must be thinking from the commercial perspective also. So we are thinking that how can we improve the process, and for improving this thing, how can we build a product? So the aim that you have, or the primary goal that academic research has, is slightly different from industry R&D, but there is a fine balance wherein there is certain times when academic research almost merges with industry R&D, as you saw as an example of Google page ranking, I guess, wherein it started off as an academic paper, but later on it was used in real life. So that is the merger that happens between academic research and industry R&D. Timeline, again, academic research is a very heavily oriented research. Doctorate and PhD thesis takes time, 3 to 7 years. But industry research, we tend to be very agile, because we cannot spend 7 years for building a product, because by that time the need for that product would have gone. So we have very short span of time wherein we are agile, and we build the product in very short sprints and then launch the product. Now, what is the success criteria for academic research? As I was mentioning, I've published few papers, and the success of the paper is mentioned or highlighted by how many citations have this paper got, what is the grant funding that you've got. But from the industry perspective, success is how much revenue you're getting out of the product, what is the cost saving, what is the user adoption, and what is the return on investment. that you have. Now, coming out to risk appetite, your risk appetite is very high because there is a chance that you're spending 3 to 7 years of your life. But if your PhD thesis is not approved, what happens? So the risk appetite is very high from industry perspective, but from academic perspective, sorry, but from industry perspective, the risk is medium. So if you fail building a product, okay, that's fine. We tried, but we were not able to build. Now, this is where data access is coming out to be, right? From your perspective, getting good data might be challenging, but I think this is slowly being addressed by AI, because through AI, you can generate synthetic data, which is a very much look-alike of your existing data. So synthetic data is something which you can create as a part of the AI and you can take it from there. From industry orientation perspective, we already have access to, we are working with multiple industry partners and we have access to the data, which we know how the data is and we can create synthetic data on top of that. And number one is AI can cloud budget usage growing. Here, I think it is changing a bit. Keep me honest over here. When I think of AI cloud, AWS, Azure has particular versions for universities, right? And they provide you free credits. Isn't that so? So when you're teaching, you can create your own accounts and you get free credits. Is that right?
Yeah, to some extent.
So I think this particular pain point is slowly decreasing, and as we get more federated, like budget related constraint will be slightly there, but I don't think it's too much to be of concern right now. Whatever credits that you're getting, you can utilize as a part of your job role or as a part of your research. Now, I've spent a lot on module 1, which was supposed to be 30 minutes. I've spent 1 hour on module 1. Now I'll go over to module 2, and this is about cloud, AI, and data. Some of the parts I've already covered, so whichever part I have not covered, I'll cover it in this particular next 30 minutes. But just going over to the previous slides, do you have any questions on the previous slides till now? Should I take it as a no? Okay. Perfect. Now coming over to cloud, AI, and data industry. Now here are some sudden figures, right? Cloud market will be around, by 2030, will be around 800 billion plus. Enterprise usage of cloud will be around 94%. Cost reduction versus on-premise for ML workloads will be around 10x using cloud. And to spin up an ML training cluster, it was weeks. In on-premise, it will be the time span required will be very less. Now, democratize experimentation. Now, this is what we are suggesting, what you can do as a part of the curriculum. Any team, including university labs, can now access enterprise-grade compute, AWS and AWS, Azure, and GCP, and they offer academic credits. This is what we were just discussing a few minutes back. So you're getting enterprise-grade application, enterprise-grade cloud infrastructure. So you can maximize the use of that, right? While you're building out the prototypes, as you were mentioning, about the rent prediction, about predicting fake videos. Surprisingly, I was speaking with somebody who has built up an AI company telling that they are building an AI tool which predicts fake videos. Now, you have already done it. So my thought will be, go and sell it to the market. Make it as a product, sell it to the market if you've already done that, right? People are doing that, and people are making multiple, they are buying in or getting billions selling their products. So if you've already thought of a good product wherein it can detect fake videos, fake images, I would strongly suggest pitch your product and get it out in the market. Now, data at scale, cloud, as I was mentioning, cloud platform enables ingestion, storage, and analysis of petabyte scale of data, previously only possible at Google or Amazon. So nowadays, data is all in our hands. We have large petabytes of data. We have platforms such as Snowflake, Databricks, which are cloud data platforms, which helps to store petabytes of data, analyze the data, understand the data lineage, and take it from there. Global collaboration is something which you can think of, right? So as I was mentioning, MIT is doing multiple research. There are multiple colleges in UK which are doing multiple research, and you can collaborate and build a project together, right? Rather than building it on your own. And I'm sure your university or college will have multiple collaborations with multiple colleges, not only colleges outside India, but colleges within India also. So the power of collaboration is huge. And if you collaborate, there are chances of success, and collaboration brings more people, more connection, and more influence so that you can get the prototype running very soon and get it to the market. So collaboration is something you can think of. And speed to production is something which I was mentioning. Industries moves at a very fast rate. Similarly, if you're thinking of a product, move fast and build on top of that. Any questions on this? Okay, now question here is, what are organizations actually doing with AI, and where the gap between ambition and execution lies? Now, here is where I'll share what is going on in the industry. Now, you might have heard that there are a lot of platforms that are being built, which are being, when I say platforms, AI platforms, which are being built and adopted, and there are multiple KPIs which of each of the industry are evaluating after they roll out the after they're rolling out the AI platforms, right? Now, example would be, suppose today I am an organization X, right? I have decided I want to enable all my employees and make sure that all my employees know AI. What do we want to do? We want to roll out AI tools such as Copilot, Google Cloud, Google Code Assist, etc. I will see that, okay, out of my X number of 100,000 employees, how many, the KPIs that my success will be built on will be, out of 100,000 employees, how many employees have got AI in their laptop or on their ID? How many of the employees are actually using those AI? They're getting the AI platform, they're getting Copilot, but how many are actually using it? Now, if you are into coding, you might have heard about GitHub Copilot, Google Code Assist. Now, success criteria for those tools would be how much earlier there were a lot of code that was manually. Now, how much code is currently being written by GitHub Copilot or Google Code Assist? How much of the code those are being written is being approved by the approver who is approving the PR or the pull request, right? You might have heard about the continuous integration and continuous deployment pipelines. So when we are deploying a code, it has to go through a pull request, and the pull request has to be approved by somebody. And so how many of the code, that is, how much of the code that is being written by Code Assist or Copilot is being approved by the pull request approver? So those are the key KPIs that we can work against, right? And most of the organizations are working against those KPIs. Now, coming over to how we can expand. Sorry. Now, we start small. We start off with a small use case and build a POC. That means proof of concept. Then we slowly, suppose the proof of concept is constricted to 6 users. Once we have told, or once we have proven that this is a successful POC, then comes the time we roll it out to wider user base. That means utilize, roll it out to users in across the world. So that is how we are scaling AI. That means building a POC, making it secure, and then putting it out across all your organization and making sure the changes associated with the AI, the employees are being fully trained or being fully made aware of the changes. Right? Any questions about how we are planning or how AI scaling is happening? On the right side, you can see some real life use cases. Banks are reducing fraud using AI. Healthcare, we are using diagnostic imaging for AI. For logistics, we are using AI for dynamic route optimization. Perhaps it is one of the key things that is required right now based on the geopolitical scenario, that what is the dynamic route for your supply chain that is required. From retail customer point of view, we are, if you think of Flipkart, etc., we are asking questions to like we contact customer center a lot of times, right? And you'll see that most of the customer care agents are now AI agents. They do not directly give it to humans. First, you have to pass the AI agent. If the AI agent is not able to answer your question, then only you're passed on to a human agent. Manufacturing, again, predictive maintenance is something which people are looking at. And from finance side, forecasting is something which AI is looking at from the real life use cases perspective. Any questions? I will take that as a no, and we go over to the next topic, which I was telling, which I've already covered. Most of the topics is related to data, and we had a good conversation that how we collect data, how we ensure data quality is there, how we ensure the data governance is there. I've also already spoken about the data architecture, which is the bronze, silver, and gold layer. I have not spoken about data governance, data product, and data sharing, which I'm going to do now. Now, can anybody tell me what is data governance, or what do you think, what comes to your mind when you think about data governance? Anybody willing to speak up? Data governance is very important, and we need to understand data governance well because of certain factors. Yes, sir.
Probably ensuring the quality and authentication of the data.
That is part of data governance. Yes, but data governance has also a wider outlook. You're right. It's a part of data governance, but the wider outlooks when we think of data.
Defining view for the user.
Yes, that is also there. So, data governance thinks of how you're thinking. So, let me tell you how regulators work. So, if you're a bank, right, regulator can come to you and ask about certain data to you, right? When they ask about certain data, you should know how the data was created and how the data ended. So starting from how the data got into your organization and where it is currently right now, you should be knowing how that flow has happened, so that you can tell the regulators. If the regulators ask you that what is this data, you should be able to answer as a bank or financial institution that this data originated from here. This data then went through this particular applications. It transformed into this particular data, and then this is your final data that you're getting. Right? So data governance speaks about how a data is created, starting from data creation, how it moves through the life cycle and then completes its life cycle. And hence, you can tell that data governance includes what is the data type, how the data has transformed, what is the who owns that particular data. That means uh, what is the authoritative source of that data. Now we are telling that we have spoken about workflow, right? Data is flowing through a workflow, but workflow cannot be authoritative source of the data. Workflow just stores doesn't even store the data, changes the data and puts it. Example would be, suppose you have called a bank, right? I need to change my address. So what it does is it goes through a workflow. You click on update address. So the bank manager clicks on update address. Your address is updated. And then it goes, you get an email that, hey, sir, your address has been updated. Now the address that is being updated, is not updated in the workflow system. It is updated in a system that is storing the data, which is called the authoritative data source, ADS. Yes, integrity of the data, overall data management is something which comes as a part of the data governance. So as I was mentioning, authoritative data source is something where your data is stored. So for each of the data, you have to find out what is your authoritative data source. So all these things are very much required, because data from starting to origination and how it is changing throughout its life cycle should be tracked, and each and every movement of the data should be tracked, and that is what data governance represents. So that once the regulator comes in and tells you, hey, XYZ bank, you have this much data, you have provided me this much reporting, where is this data coming from? You have to showcase the bank that, or the auditors, that this data entered from here, this was the change in data, and this is the final data. So data governance is very much essential as a part of the total landscape. Now, data products. This is a very new topic, and I think this is something which you can think of. Something which you can think of recently when it comes, or speak with your students. So earlier, we used to, when we say data, we used to host the data in a data warehouse, put the data, all the data together, and then report it from there. Now things are changing. How things are changing? Things are changing related to, we have come to a concept of data products. What is data products? Data is being segregated into domains. What are domains? Example would be customer. If I, again, since I'm a banking person, and I always think of banks, right? So what are data products from banking perspective? Customer might be a data product. Payment might be a data product, right? So data product is, you are creating a product particular to a domain. Customer is a domain for you. And underneath that domain, you will have multiple tables pertaining to the customer, right? And you are selling it as a customer product, customer data product. Similarly, payments will be a product, which is the overlying product, data product. Within that payments landscape, you will have multiple tables related to payments, right? These are all the things which we call it as a data product. Now, most of the organizations nowadays are moving towards a federated data model, and the federated data model is corresponding to data products. So when you have some time, do research on what is data products and how the industry is moving towards data products. Each of the data products will have a data product charter. What is there in the data product charter? The data product charter tells that who is owning the data, who will be consuming the data, how frequently the data is updated in the data product. Right? So think of data products and think of data charter as we move along. Lastly, data sharing. Now, thinking of capital markets, when you think of capital markets, and when you think of price prediction related to shares, right? Shares and equities, you have to have a lot of data, external data also, so that you can predict the price accordingly. And external data comes in, and that is where data sharing comes in. One organization can share data with another organization in a very smooth manner, and data sharing is something which is very much coming up into the organizations as we go forward. So think about data sharing as two organizations. They have their own data landscape, and they are trying to share data with each other. How can we securely share data is something which is being utilized a lot in the industry. Any questions till now? I will take that as a no. Now coming over to process automation at scale. This I think we have already alluded to before. How the process automation landscape has evolved since 2009, right? It initially started off with workflow automation, very simple workflow automation. Then it moved on to rule-based robotics process automation. Then it transformed into intelligent automation. Moving forward, it's the AI-driven automation. And lastly, currently we are in the world of agentic automation. I have spoken about robotics process automation, but I'll give a one-liner again. Robotics process automation was very simple, right? Tools such as UiPath, Blue Prism were there at that particular point of time. It used to scrape the data and exactly mimic what you're doing in your laptop. So if you're creating a form or if you're updating your address, it can mimic what you're doing and replicate the same thing in your application. It was robotics process automation. Next came in intelligent process automation, wherein we integrated robotics process automation with a workflow automation. That means your OCR capability is fetching the details from your documents, or RPA is utilized to fetch the details of your form and putting it into another form. So, and from that particular form, OCR is being to read through the form and get the details into the workflow system. So this is where we merged RPA, robotics process automation, with intelligent automation. Next came AI-driven automation. I think it's still in place because when we think of AI-driven automation, we think of a bank, right? Suppose organizations such as any organization such as Simple Bank or Challenger Bank. What do is they collect your data, right? And they see that you are just going for a foreign trip. So they offer you, hey, Mr. X or Miss Y, you're going for a foreign trip. Can I offer you a free travel card which has no charges on Forex? So what it does is it uses the data to provide you the right information or right offer at the right time, at the right place. So what it does, it provides you the right offer at the right time, at the right place. So when you call up a customer care agent of a bank, right? So even before you're calling, the customer care, the AI should be smart enough to understand why you're calling. So the customer care picks up the phone and tells us that, hey, Professor Shyam Mondal, thank you for calling us. I know you've called us for a particular transaction that you think you might not have done, because the AI already knows that you were researching on a transaction that might not be the correct one. So you're trying to raise a dispute against that transaction. So the customer care agent already knows that Professor Mondal is already looking into raising a dispute for this particular transaction. So you're already happy, right? Because even before you call, or even as you're starting the call, the customer care executive knows that this is why you're calling. So it automatically, from psychological perspective, it provides you with a thinking that, yes, okay, that's good. Now the customer care agent processes your request. That means he or she acts on the transaction, raises a dispute against your transaction, and gets it done, right? Now, post that, before ending the call, the customer care agent has seen that you deal a lot with equities, right? Example, shares. So the customer care agent will be provided with a option within their desktop telling that to provide a demat account to free demat account to Professor Mondol. So before the customer care agent ends the call, he or she will tell that now that we have solved your problem, I understand that you might be trading a lot. We have an offer from this particular bank that we can provide you a free demat account. That is what today we can do with the help of AI. We can provide you the right offer at the right time, at the right place. So that is called the next best offer scenario that I just described. That which is the best offer that I can provide to my customer at this particular moment of time. Now, if you reject that offer, we will provide the rules so that that offer is not shown to you or not provided to you for the next 6 months. The next best offer is provided to you. That is what AI-driven automation does. Next thing is about agentic automation. Agentic automation is something that, sorry, any questions from anybody? I see Ramya, do you want to ask something? Okay, I'll take that as a no. Now, agentic automation is something where agents are doing the whole work for you. That means if you think of a fraud use case, the agent will decipher that whether it's a fraud, a transaction is fraud or not. If it's a fraud transaction, it will get the confidence score of that fraud transaction, and then it will tell that whether that fraud transaction is if the confidence score is very high, then it will stop the transaction from happening. So multiple agents are working in parallel, right? Number 1 is fraud detection agent. Number 2 is fraud evaluation agent. Number 3 is fraud actioning agents. So the whole landscape is happening such as this, right? So this is called what is called multi-agentic system. And I think as you discuss with the students, this is very much imperative that you discuss about multi-agentic system going forward. Any questions till now? I will take that as a no. Now, I also wanted to speak to you a little about AI guardrails. Now, we are thinking of, this is not in this particular deck, but I thought it will be a relevant as we speaking about AI. Can anybody highlight to me that what do you think about AI guardrails or the AI projects that you have been working on? What are the AI guardrails you have thought of while you are working on those AI projects? Can anybody give me 1 or 2 lines about AI projects? Anybody? Any thoughts related to AI guardrails?
Hi, Shaurav. Hello. Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. Sir, Manas Sarkar this side. Okay. So it's a nice session. So I have one doubt. Means query, whatever you say that agentic AI in the automation part. Yeah. So suppose sometimes I have some MVP after POC. I have some MVP. So that MVP that in production part is for live. So it is already passed some all types of authentications, all internal proof, everything is passed. But till that phase using AI. Okay, all phases passed, but before live, some human intervention in some BPs or C-suite persons approval is required. Just like someone suppose fintech, suppose insurance claim in fintech or new drug launch in the healthcare. Yeah. So my question is that if we use that whole production is automations using agentic AIs, so we can bypass this direct manual approval for life for the any BPs or C-suite, because it is also a time consuming, no? So is it possible or
It is possible, but you have to determine it by use case by use case. That means if your risk appetite is high, it depends on what is your risk appetite and how much risk you want to take as an organization. So suppose it's a insurance claim for billions of dollars.
yes,
Definitely you need a human in the loop.
yes,
Similarly, for fraud use case, as I was mentioning, there is a fraud agent which calculates the how much confidence it has in its evaluation. So suppose it has an evaluation confidence of 0.6, then perhaps you can make a rule that if the evaluation confidence by the fraud agent is less than 0.6, you have a human in the loop to approve. If it is more than 0.8, 0.6, you can have an automated decision. So again, it is not a yes/no answer, but you have to think through based on your scenario, based on the risk appetite of the organization, based on the use case, those are the things that you'll have to decide when you're designing the use case.
Yeah, because in CI/CD pipeline we also use that agentic AI, so direct after deployment is a direct it will be product will be live, or sometimes that so it will make, because if suppose MVPs are not permitted by that VP, so again it is back to that scrap level. Again we change that algorithm. It is we have to upload and push into. I mean, so that's why I'm asking that is it time consuming? So how means beforehand? Is there any way that beforehand we have to predict that it will be not required any means human manual intervention or not like this?
So beforehand you can predict only for the according to the use case that you have. So as I was mentioning, like if you have a claim which is billions of dollars, you definitely won't want AI to approve that. You want AI to suggest, but ultimate decision should be taken by the human in the loop. So there are certain circumstances when human in the loop is very essential. There are certain circumstances which are low risk circumstances when human in the loop can be avoided.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Any thoughts on as we go back the AI guardrails? So let me talk through you about the AI guardrails. So while you're doing or while you're implementing AI at production scale, you need to have certain guardrails associated with the AI agent, so that the AI agent does not act in a way in which it shouldn't, right? Hence, we provide the guardrails that are there, right? That means suppose you don't want the AI agent to, taking a very simple example of databases. We have data DDL statement and DML statement. Now, I will tell that if there is a DDL statement or a DML statement that is to be executed, keep a human in the loop. So those are the guardrails that we bake in while we are baking a solution or creating a production grade solution. The guardrails are very important. Similarly, we create guardrails that if there is PII data that is exposed, personal identifiable information data that is exposed, you do not process the request, right? So those are the types of details that you can think of, or guardrails that you can think of while you're executing your AI or you're running an AI application. Any AI application should be associated with guardrails. Without guardrails, AI building out an AI product is not possible and shouldn't be done. And with these guardrails, you can and I can go forward and discuss AI security, but today we don't have that much amount of time. If you have proper guardrails, you can get rid of scenarios such as AI poisoning, prompt poisoning, and multiple other scenarios, security related scenarios that might be dangerous for your AI application that you're building. Now, any thoughts on AI guardrails and AI security? How have you built in the AI security while you were building out the AI application? Any thoughts on this? I understand you've built out a lot of AI applications, and it would be good to understand if it has or what are the guardrails that you've baked in while you were implementing the solution. Just a quick question: is our audience only limited to Haldia Institute of Technology today, or it's a wider audience other than we have faculty members other than Haldia Institute of Technology also?
No, sir. Other faculties are there also.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Okay. And that's why I'm not speaking in Bengali. I mean, Bangali, and I've been born and brought up in Kolkata, West Bengal. So I mean, khub bhalo Bangla bolte, mane Banglai is my mother tongue. So, but I understand that a lot of faculty members outside Kolkata. Hence, I'm refraining myself from speaking in Bengali.
Yes, sir.
So again, coming over to the AI security and AI guardrails, there are multiple factors, as I was mentioning. You need to measure, you need to have AI guardrails baked in before before you can productionize an AI application. And I'll request you to, when you go back, request you to feel free to Google AI guardrails and how you can implement AI guardrails as a part of your application. Now, this is what I was mentioning, that from idea to venture, how you should work towards building out a product. As I was mentioning, problem first. Understand what is the pain point. So talk to potential users. So suppose you decide that this is my product and this will be my target audience. So for those target audience, understand what are the 100, speak with them and understand what is the pain point. Even before writing a code is something, not something which we can start off on day one, right? And coding is something which is getting simpler day by day. If you tell today that I'm a very big coder, it's not of any value anymore, I would say, because AI will be doing the coding. You should know how to use AI to do the coding, and you should know the basic functionalities of coding. Suppose you're writing something in Java, you should know how end-to-end the Java functionality works before telling to the coding agent to code, because you will take maybe 2 hours to write 100 lines of code, which the coding agent will write in 1 second. So what you do is, once the coding agent has written down the code, you just verify it. So being a good coder is not essential. Being a decent coder who knows what is going inside the code is essential nowadays. So find out the problem first, then validate. As Manoj sir was mentioning, there's a minimum viable product that you are building out, right? So build out the minimum viable product and build out the ideas and bring it to the table, right? So we all have multiple ideas on our head, but unless and until we are bringing the ideas into a slide, into a PowerPoint, building out the storyboard, the idea will still be in our head. Once the idea is built onto a paper, tell Claude that, Claude, this is my idea, build me an application, build me a product corresponding to this idea. And Claude will build it out for you in a matter of few minutes. Now, product market fit. Once the product has been built, understand how you will monetize the product, and that is the main thing, right? You're building a product, you want to gain revenue out of it. So understand how you will monetize the product. And then once you have understood and have got a good hang, you have good angel investors investing in your product. You operationalize the product, and when you say operationalize the product, you need to run the product. So you need to hire a few people, hire those people, and then scale it. That's the end-to-end journey from idea to venture. And I'm not going through each and every point related to which are the products or how you should be choosing a product, but this is a high level overview of how you can think of. The first box on the left side tells about deep technical products, which is something such as OpenAI, which took multiple years to come into the market. The second thing comprises of SaaS products, which is quick time to market. Example will be products such as Snowflake, Databricks, Pega, Appian, all those products, which is SaaS products, Salesforce, ServiceNow. And lastly is consulting venture. It's, as I was mentioning, it's more related to you provide a framework to people so that they can utilize the framework to work on. That means if they're opening a new bank, you provide a framework to that particular people that, hey, you can open this bank in this particular manner, and they open it using that. So that's how the end-to-end product journey looks like. I'm not going through. So for the next 5 minutes, can we do this? Can you pick a problem, right? Define the user, choose a technology, and tell me about the business model that you will work on. So I will switch off my camera for the next 5 minutes. I will let you pick a problem, understand, tell me who is the user, choose the technology as to how you'll solve the problem, and tell me what is the business model that you will build. I know 5 minutes is very less, but I will let you think through it, and then I will randomly choose, there are 134 people, I will randomly choose a few of you so that you can help share your thoughts. Or if somebody is ready to share their thoughts, that is more than welcome. So it's now 12:53 for me. 5 minutes from now, 12:58, we will catch up and we'll take it from there.
সেটা তো ঠিক আছে, তার আগে কি কথাটা বলেছে সেটা না হলে কি করে ওইটা বললো, ওইটা তো আমিও শুনেছি, ওই শুনতে পাইনি।
So I'm switching off my camera for the next 5 minutes. You have the thing on your, I'm sharing my screen. So pick up a problem, define the user, choose a technology, sketch the business model. So a 5-minute exercise for you to perform.
Pick a problem, real life problem, education, logistics or finance. What is the painful, expensive thing that people are organizing currently do manually or badly? What is the painful thing?
কোশ্চেন করুন না প্লিজ,
না না, যে কোশ্চেন করবে তাকেই ধরবে,
তাকে তো ধরে থামাতে হবে।
চুজ দ্য টেকনোলজি
করে বসে থাকলে তো র্যান্ডম জিজ্ঞেস করে healthcare, education, logistics or finance. What is the painful, expensive thing that people
or organization currently do manually or badly?
রেসপন্ড করার দরকার নেই, নাম ধরে ডাকলে বলবে আমি নেই।
কি শুরু করেছে, কি বলছে, একটা প্রবলেম পিক করতে বলছি, সেটা লজিস্টিক হতে পারে, হেলথ কেয়ার হতে পারে, এডুকেশন হতে পারে, যে কি সব থেকে এক্সপেন্সিভ বা ব্যাড জিনিস সেটা কি প্রবলেমটা, তারপর সেটাতে কারা বেশি ভোগে সেটা নিয়ে, সেটার একটা বিজনেস মডেল রেডি করা, সেটাকে টেকনিক্যাল লাইনে মানে এআইএমএল হ্যান্ডাবেলটা দিয়ে কীভাবে সেটাকে সলভ করা যাবে, এবার উনি বলছেন র্যান্ডামলি জিজ্ঞেস করবো।
চুজ এ টেকনোলজি। আপনাকে তখন মেসেজ করবে এইচডি স্যার, জিল আপনারা উত্তর দিন। হেলথ কেয়ার, এডুকেশন, হেলথ কেয়ারে কী প্রবলেম?
আমি ক্যামেরাটা অন করবো বলে বসে আছি, তাহলে এখানে সেট করেছি কখন ও অ্যানাউন্স করে তো আছে,
কেউ জিজ্ঞেস করতে হবে তো, নাহলে তো প্রবলেম এটা। কেয়ারে কি একটা প্রবলেম হলো? এই স্যারকে কোথায় যে মানস স্যারকে ডেকে একটু হ্যাঁ ফোন স্যারই কোশ্চেন করুন। না র্যান্ডামলি বলেনি, প্রথমে যদি না জিজ্ঞেস করে তাহলে র্যান্ডামলি বলে। হ্যাঁ ওই জন্য
এইচডি স্যারকে বলো জিজ্ঞেস করতে।
এই তো কেউ করেছে? না কেউ করেনি। হ্যাঁ ফোনটা লাগাও না।
আমি বেরোবো না, ফোন থেকে কানেক্ট হয়েছে, স্যার রেস্ট্রিক্ট করে দিয়েছিল, এবার বেরিয়ে গেলে আর আমি ঢুকতে হবে না, স্যার
ठीक है আর ভালো লাগছে না। এই তাড়াতাড়ি করো।
Okay, we are almost on time. Anybody willing to put their hands up? We'll just discuss couple of topics or couple of thoughts and ideas, and I think post that we'll close the session for today. Anybody willing to put their hands up? Dr. Anupam Mukherjee, may I pick up on you? Sorry, it's not not want to put you on spot, but have you thought of any idea? Dr. Anupam Mukherjee, I can see that you're there on the call and you have been listening in. So any thoughts and ideas are welcome. Okay, next Dr. Monica Singh. Ma'am, any thoughts on ideas or any topics that you've chosen? I'm sure you have thought of something, right? Like, because you have been teaching for so many years and you have been interacting with so many students. There are a few ideas that you might already have in your head. I think people are eager to end the session. That's what I see.
Yes.
Anybody willing to put their hands up and discuss on a particular idea? Yes, please, sir. Mr. Raghu.
Oh, waiter, is this last? Sorry, is this last? Yes. আরে কিছু টেপো না।
Pratham
আরে
Verma,
ওরা বলে যা, ওদেরকে বলতে হবে না, এগুলো বলতে হবে না, ওরা বলে
are
যা।
you interested to share your idea? So out of 131 people, we have not thought of any idea.
উমেশ পালকে ধরো, উমেশ পালকে, ওয়াসিম আকরামকে ধরো, তাপস রাহাকে ধরো।
I think we can do better.
We can do better, আমরা জানি কিন্তু টাইম হয়ে যাচ্ছে।
Anybody who wants to speak and share their idea? You just need to go through the idea. We just need to understand who is your target customers and how you thought of utilizing AI. Sweetie, over to you.
Sweetie.
We can hear you. You have your hand raised up. So if you want to speak, feel free to go ahead.
আর ফিডব্যাক
We are not able to hear you if you're speaking. No, we are not able to hear you. Anybody is able to hear, Sweetie? Is it
No,
only
sir.
for me?
No, sir.
Okay. Sweetie, sorry, we are not able to hear you. I see you're on mute still now. If you unmute yourself and speak, that will be helpful. I see you've unmuted yourself. Any particular points that you want to cover? Okay. Anybody else? I think Sweetie tried to speak. Thank you for that. Thank you for putting your hands up and coming forward. Anybody else who wants to speak before we move ahead?
Saurav, this is Dr. Sudhakar Tripathi. Sorry, I will not be able to put my video on.
No problem.
Actually, I am
sir.
working with one of my student. I am professor in charge of incubation center at REC Ambedkar Nagar, that is Rajki Engineering College Ambedkar Nagar in UP Uttar Pradesh.
Great to
So
meet
we
you,
have
sir.
developed a product along with him. One is for legal services, for legal assistance to advocates. One product we have developed, deployed it, and it is under the testing phase with certain advocates. Our target customers are advocates who are practicing in district courts, in civil courts, in high courts, and later on in bigger courts. But the population of customers in district courts and tehsil level courts is much more. The first product that we have built is digital diary that they have to carry out along with them. What advocates do, they carry out a very bunch of files along with them. Some munim is there, they are carrying. So they were not able to handle it on digital platform. So one was that MIS type of things were early, but what we did we put a simple and reflex agents in that, inbuilting it that whatever data, whatever cases, its diagnostics are there, fee related issues, the case proceedings, etc. we have incorporated. Along with that, we have inbuilt a simple level of AI module in that, so that automatically it can send messages to their clients, the fee balance, etc. What are additional documents are required. That is product is ready and being deployed. The next product that we are working on is our target customer is still advocates. Whenever some new cases come to an advocate, what he do? He hears the cases, he takes the keywords, what type of now it is BNS clauses will be applicable on that, and they first thing that they struggle with to search out similar type of cases to reference with corpus. Fortunately, Supreme Court of India and High Court are providing their digital data. I am not sure whether they are providing API or not. We are exploring it. Along with that, there are corpuses of publishers. Initially, publishers were publishing books in only hardware form. Still, they are rigid with that. But we are exploring that the law related suits, cases that they are publishing, automatically we will be building a little bit complex agent, so that whenever some case comes, the advocate makes a summary, whether on paper, on anything, in whatever way he is comfortable, he puts on paper. We will scan it, we will provide a scanner on that, it will be scanned, and related potential cases along with their property will be reflected to them. And if they will explore for higher version, certain cases and related columns or paragraphs will be extracted and put in well formatted manner or structured manner, that they can curate on them. The major challenge is this, that we cannot put it on cloud, or it should be, if we put it on cloud, it should be secured, because the case is not independent ID. One is opponent and one is defendant. It should be encrypted for both of them. We are working on that, and hopefully in later on stage it will be working. For the initial product that I was talking you about, digital diary, it will be deployed within a month. A student group is involved with me. I am mainly as a mentor and little bit involved in that at AI module level.
This is tremendous, Sudhakar sir, and this is legal AI is something which will be big thing going forward, and you have already taken the I won't say the first step. You have already taken a lot of strides on it. So great to hear the use case. Great to hear how you're proceeding. Great to hear the problem that you're eradicating as a part of the use case, and hope. I wish you and the students all the best on this journey.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And it will be great to hear once you are able to put this into scaling. It will be great to hear from you how it's going on, how the product is succeeding, and going forward. Yeah.
With this session also I have been benefited. Certain things that we have discussed in analytics, in consulting type of firms, that I am also exploring. But the good idea is that you have put it in very simple way. A layman can also understand and can dare to start with.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Saurabh.
Yeah. Sir, I hope you can hear me now, right?
I can hear you, sweetie. Thank you.
Yeah. Good evening. Basically, I am a MSc IT coordinator basically, and I am into AI and data science only. So currently, I am working with build of a model using the generative AI technology, where I am trying to understand that what will be the outcome of the graduate and postgraduate students, and how their critical thinking is basically impacting with the use of these generative AI tools. So this is one of the model, and various models are already in process, because the students of third year and basically the second year, that is third semester and fourth semester, they undertake so many projects, and over here in Mumbai University, they have to present, we have to send the students. So there are so many projects they keep on taking based on AI. So my personal is right now I am working on one of the model as said to understand the impact.
This is very good, madam. Thank you so much for sharing. I think this is a topic which is very relevant across the world. So
yes, sir.
You might be collaborating already with foreign institutes as well as institutes.
Sir, I am collaborating with my own institute, because my institute, I basically belong to Mumbai, and in my institute, they provide the seed money for the research purpose.
Okay.
So I am into the research for this academic year of 26-27. where I will be building a model for the college itself. And if the model will be successful, we will be implementing to understand how these generative AI tools are impacting on the critical behavior and the learning of the students.
Yes. I think I speak with multiple of the charities over here, and they are also exploring the same topic. And I think this is a big topic, and I'm proud that as starting from Indian universities, you've already thought of and already halfway through the journey. So thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, as we come to the end of our session today, what are the 3 takeaways or 4 takeaways? Research is a competitive asset. So the organizations winning AI are the ones who took academic research seriously. So the things that ma'am and sir just alluded to, these are the things which are taking us forward as a country, as an organization. So each of your organizations, since you've already started off, you've already halfway through the journey. So you've already taken the steps that are required. So research is a competitive asset. So thank you for taking the early step and keeping our country at the forefront and going forward. Next is infrastructure unlocks everything. So if you have, as I mentioned, if you have a good secure infrastructure, then it paves the way for building multiple applications and multiple prototypes on your infrastructure. Next is automate the predictable, free the creative. So the best use of automation is not replacing people. It's freeing them from repetitive work to focus on problems that require human judgment. So we are not automating to get rid of people. We are automating so that people can get rid of the mundane job and do something creative which adds value rather than doing the same repetitive thing over and over again. And lastly, entrepreneurship is a learnable skill. It's not that something you're born with. You go forward, learn through it. So you don't need to leave academia to build something. You need to do the research, which I heard that is already being done. You need the domain expertise. I heard about legal domain expertise over here. That is very good. So you need the legal domain expertise, a user problem. I also heard today about a user problem that you're addressing, and a strong foundation. And that will help you go forward when we talk about entrepreneurship, starting from academia to entrepreneurship. That's the journey that we'll be taking. So thank you for listening to me today. I am Saurav Dey. As I was mentioning, I am an associate in Deloitte UK. You feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. And thank you for listening to me for the last 2 hours. It has been great interacting with you. I am really amazed and proud to see use cases that we are building on, the use cases, the AI thinking that we have already established. And I think we have already taken good strides going forward. And surely our journey from academia to entrepreneurship will be a success. I wish you all the best. I hope you have found certain values from the session today. I hope you can provide those new things that you've learned from this session today to the students so that they can utilize it while they go out in the industry or in the consulting phase or while they are moving out from academia and going to the industries for jobs or entrepreneurship. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, sir. Thank you, madam. It has been wonderful interacting with you and hope you have a
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for such an informative session. We express our heartfelt gratitude for our support and delivering an insightful session on this topic and look forward to your continued association in future academic endeavors. And please find the certificate of appreciation as a token of our acknowledgement.
Thank you so much, ma'am, and thank you to Haldia Institute of Technology for hosting this session. These type of sessions helps everybody because we are bringing in people from multiple diverse backgrounds. They have multiple diverse ideas, and these are the playing grounds through which we enhance our ideas and going forward. So thank you, Haldia Institute of Technology, for hosting this session. And I want to thank Manoj sir and Bijoy Bhodro from the Haldia Institute of Technology for bringing me into this conversation and giving me a chance to interact with such wonderful people such as you who are there on the call today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. This is for you. Is it visible, sir?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, everyone. I am dropping off from the call. Thank you.
Now I sincerely request our respected Head of the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Haldia Institute of Technology, Professor Dr. Pinaki Pratim Acharya, sir, to kindly deliver the vote of thanks before the conclusion of this online faculty development program. Sir.
Thank you, Amrita. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, good evening, everyone. It has been such an honor to be a part of this faculty development program on innovation, entrepreneurship, and IPR. And it is my privilege that I have been asked to propose a vote of thanks. So, on behalf of the Department of Computer Science and Engineering and from the entire Haldia Institute of Technology, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed speakers. Our today's speaker was Mr. Saurav Dey, Associate Director, Deloitte UK, and the other speakers, Mr. Debojyoti Roy, Data Scientist, TESCO, Dr. Unimesh Dotto, Professor NIT Durgapur, Dr. Raju Halda, Associate Professor IIT Patna, and Dr. Devashish Dey, Professor McCout. I thank them all. My sincere thanks to our principal sir for his constant inspiration and guidance towards organizing this event. Coordinator, IQAC, Professor Dr. Dilip De for his constant encouragement. I want to thank Dr. Anjan Mishra, the Registrar General, Entrepreneurship Technology, and Dr. Devashish Das, General Manager Administration, Entrepreneurship Technology for their constant support. All deans for their support, all HODs, and of course, all members of our CSC department of Entrepreneurship Technology. I want to thank all the organizing committee members also for this, for conducting this particular program. I have seen their dedication and their successful execution of this particular event. Also want to thank all the participants and my colleagues who made the event a successful one. Thank you one and all. Thank you so much for attending this ATP. Over to you, Amrita.
Thank you, sir. Before concluding the session, I kindly request all to switch on their cameras for a group photograph.
Yes. All participants, please turn on your cameras so that we can take a snapshot of our today's program. Please turn on your cameras. I will request Gorman sir to capture the screenshots. The organizers, please do the needful. Participants, I am again requesting you to turn on your cameras. Okay, thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. We have shared the feedback link. Kindly fill this by today. Thank you all once again for your gracious.
Yes, I can see Uddalok sir. Uddalok sir is here also. Sir, I hope you are good.
Yes, sir, fine.
Good to see you sir, after long days.
Yes, sir. Nice to see you. A great session it was.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Okay, sir, we'll be in touch.
Sure, sir.
Sure, sir. Okay, thank you and good night all.
Good night, sir.
কি বলবো থাক আমার কি দরকার যদি না পাওয়া যায় তখন আবার ফোন করে করে তো জ্বালাবো সব পেরিয়েও গেছে তুমি দৌড়াও 50 হয়ে গেছে 50 হয়ে গেছে হ্যাঁ আরে আর ফটোটা এইখানকার ফটোটা ফিডব্যাক লিংকটা ইউটিউব চ্যাটে দিয়ে দিয়েছি ঠিক আছে কিছু লিখিনি কিন্তু ওখানে জাস্ট ফিডব্যাক লিংকটা দিয়েছি হ্যাঁ সবাই থাকে এটা বললো স্যারকে একটা ফোন করি
জিজ্ঞেস করে স্যার এখানে কি ফটো তোলা হয় ওটা জিজ্ঞেস করি
বলেছে আমাকে দুপুরবেলাতেই বলেছে
মিটিং এ এখন
আমাকে এটা আছে তাহলে এটা বলবে কি করে এই যে
আমি বলছি কেবিন মানে এখনো কি জয়েন না কিছু বলছে কোথাও বলে বেরিয়ে গেছে জিজ্ঞেস করে আর বড় যে শুভঙ্কর স্যারকে কি আমরা কল করে দেবো এটাও জিজ্ঞেস করো
হ্যাঁ স্যার হ্যালো
স্যারের সাথে না ফাইনালাইজ হলে বাকি
ফটো শুট আজকে করছি না
আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে স্যার ঠিক
লাস্ট টাইম আমি গেলাম
স্যার বাড়ি যাওয়ার জন্য বাড়ি যাবে না স্যার
হ্যাঁ স্বাভাবিক ওই লোকটা আমি একদম পছন্দ করি না যে যারা বেশি জানে আর বেশি কথা বলে এই দুটো লোককে আমি একদম পছন্দ করি না
বাপরে বাপ
বেশি জানে আর বেশি কথা বলে কত কাজ ছিল কত টাকা এসে ঘুরে গেছে সামনে থেকে
আমি ওনার সাথে বলেছি মানুষ মেসেজ করেছি
এটা পোস্ট করে বাংলা স্যারের কথা না
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ ঠিক আছে C1 করে দিই 9টা স্টুডেন্ট আছে আর সব জানে তারপরে ভালো অবস্থা থাকা সব জানে আমি যে তিনজন চার ঠিক আছে হ্যাঁ কাকে লাগে ও তো সিট দেবে
আমি স্যার আরেকটা বলছিলাম আমার দুটো মেয়েকে ওই সাথে আমার স্যার ওদের তো ফিজও দেয়নি তো বাবাও আজকে ফোন করেছিল বলছিল 1 লাখ টাকা ম্যাডাম থেকে পাবো আমরা এটা তো আও চলতেই আছে আপনার আমরা কি করে পাবো 1 লাখ টাকা দেখুন আপনারা
আমরা দেব
এগুলো আমাদের দেখি না
না
লাস্ট টাইমও বলেছিলাম
না একটা আছে এই ব্যাপার 50,000 টাকা যদি দিয়ে দেয়
বললাম ওরা জানে তো সবই কলেজ থেকে তো জেনে গেছে তো ছেলেরা জেনে গেছে তাই বলে দুজনে মিলে 1 লাখ দুটো ছেলে পড়ছে না 50-50 করে দিতে হবে তাহলে ওরা বসতাম কালকে তো লাস্ট ডেট ওটা তো
ওই পরে আলটিমেটলি কলেজই বলবে যা যা পারে দিক এটা লাস্ট ডেট
আমাদের লোন চলছে বিএসসিসি লোন চলছে প্লাস আর তো লোন দেবে না বলে দিয়েছে শুন বলছে আর কি বলবো
কলেজই বলে দেবে ওদেরকে কলেজই বলে দেবে যা পারিস দিস মানে আমাদেরকে হয়তো জানিয়ে দেবে বা নিজেরা বলে
স্যার আপনার আর জোয়ারদার স্যার খাওয়া বাকি থাকলো আপনাকে কল করতে পারি না ধরুন 3টে স্ক্রিনশট স্যার নিয়েছে পেস্ট হবে কি করে রিপোর্ট কোথা থেকে আছে
সব পার্টিসিপেন্ট দিয়ে
No, এটা ডিসপ্লেটা কিবোর্ডটা
ঠিক আছে আমি ইয়ে থেকে নিয়ে নেবো এটা আমাকে এইতে দিতে পেন ড্রাইভে এতজনেরটা আসে না
হ্যাঁ
এতজনেরটা আসে না কি বলবো সেভ অ্যাজ কম্পিউটার ব্রাউজ কত রকম মানে ইয়েতে নিয়ে নেবো
বন্ধ করবো না তো বন্ধ করে নিই তো
ওটা ইয়ে থেকে নিতে হবে ইউটিউব থেকে
আচ্ছা
ইউটিউবে রেকর্ডিং হচ্ছে তো রেকর্ডিং তো বন্ধ আছে
সেটা বন্ধ করে দিচ্ছি
হ্যাঁ আমি বন্ধ করে দিলাম ফিডব্যাক লিঙ্ক দেওয়া হয়েছে
আর আনমিউট করা ছিল কি বলছি সব কথা শোনা যাচ্ছিল কি মিউট করেন এগুলো স্যার আমি কথা বলছিলাম শুনতে পাচ্ছে ওই অনলাইনে যারা ছিল
এটা পালিয়ে গেছে
ও মানমিউট করেছিল না মিউট করেছিল না
জানি না অত আমি তো বসিনি এখানে কি করেছে আমি জানি না
এই দুটোর মনে হয় একটা মিউট করেছিল না
এ কোথায় অমৃতা ম্যামের বসছি অমৃতা ম্যামের বসছি আর একটা
আমার লসে হয়ে গেছে
না অমৃতা ম্যাম তো বাড়ি যাবে না